So guys, we know that we're getting Call of Duty Modern Warfare this year, and so far what we've seen looks like it's going to be a return to those glorious days of warfare that looks similar to the world that we actually live in. Now, nobody has actually been shown the multiplayer side of the game, but a lot of YouTubers and journalists were flown out and were able to see a few campaign missions. Now, within these campaign missions, quite a few people have said that this is probably the most graphic Call of Duty that there has ever been. Drifter went on to confirm this via a tweet, tweeting, "Call of Duty Modern Warfare makes Modern Warfare 2's No Russian look like a Pixar film. I'm deadly serious. When I saw that, I was shocked by the level of realistic violence. We'll be surprised if this game gets rated M instead of AO. Good luck buying in New Zealand, D and SEA countries." And before the game has even been released or people have fully saw it, we already have journalists claiming that this game should be censored and suggesting that certain things should be pulled out of the game because they are too quote-unquote realistic. Dean Takahashi has basically come out with another. If you don't know who he is the gentleman who failed to pass. It took him 26 minutes to pass the Cuphead demo stage, and he then went to write an article claiming that the game was just far too hard for users. He's been a journalist in gaming for around 30 years and has been quite a controversial figure in his journalism. After Dean's experiences of the single player campaign, he went on to write quite a controversial article, and this is what journalists seem to do with games that have any reference to any type of violent scenes or anything that is basically real life and can happen in real life but is real bad and real violent and stuff like that. Journalists seem to want to just call out for the ban card straight away. Let's get rid of this game. Let's get rid of this game. So let's head over to the article that he has actually wrote. The publisher's Infinity Ward studio recently showed part of the single player campaign for an up-and-coming installment of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it has scenes and gameplay in it that are very disturbing to me. It brings to mind the No Russian controversy, where civilians are mowed down in a Russian airport in 2009's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I was quite uncomfortable as I watched a gameplay demo of Modern Warfare, which is more than just a remake of 2007's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The demo, which will be shown at E3 show in June, has two parts. In both cases, the safety of civilians comes into question. Infinity Ward developers got up on stage at a recent event at the studio's headquarters in Southern California. They then showed a press group the scenes. They warned us the game would be mature, authentic, and gritty. No longer would we be jumping about like superheroes. It is grounded in realistic modern combat, a complex world that mirrors our own. Activision says the game has an incredibly raw, gritty, provocative narrative that brings unrivaled intensity and shines a light on the changing nature of modern war. The premise is that the rules of war have changed. It is not black and white, it is grey with a fine line between right and wrong, and yet undoubtedly this gritty single player campaign will be coupled with multiplayer combat where killing is a sport. If you put these things together with extremely realistic human characters, it becomes even more disturbing. Now, this is a very lengthy article, so I'm going to summarize here. I'm not going to read the whole thing because this video will be about 20 minutes long, but Dean goes on to say that from what he saw in the actual scenes that he was shown, because he only was shown two missions. One of the missions was you're in a room, there's a women in a room, one lunges for a gun, and you've got to make real choices in this game. You've got to decide what you're going to do. You're given choices and you have to decide as the player consciously what you're going to do, and the outcome is basically comes from your decision. And he says he finds it very, very disturbing, and even goes on to say eventually that he believes certain scenes should not be shipped with this Call of Duty. Now, the first thing I disagree with in Dean's article is the fact that he says this type of violence and these type of scenes should be depicted in movies be told in books but can't be shown in video games. Now, Dean, the first thing I'm going to say to that one is, if this game is rated M for mature audience, like myself, 33-year-old man, then who are you to tell me that I can't play this game and it shouldn't be sold and I should not be allowed to see these scenes? As with most games that have got graphical content, there is a disclaimer on the start screen before you're even allowed to play the game, and you have to acknowledge that the game is graphic and you wish to see the graphic scene. So first of all, there should nullify your whole article, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not going to say people aren't going to be offended. The game has been banned in several, beg your pardon, the game may be banned in several countries if it is as violent as Modern Warfare 2's No Russian mission. However, that is down to those specific countries. In my country, the United Kingdom, I'm allowed to play these type of games as a grown man, and it's my choice. Again, it's my choice whether I play something as violent as this. And I'm all for what Activision are choosing to do, because it is true, the world that we live in now has changed drastically. We don't have traditional wars anymore where the soldiers are all dressed in a uniform and they're representing their country or their faction. We do have people who are literally just dressed up in Levi jeans and a lumberjack top who are just turning around and starting to shoot people. It's no secret. Now, I understand Dean has seen certain things like Christchurch happen, and he seems to believe that video games are responsible for these type of things. But no, what's responsible for those type of things are mentally unstable people. That's what's responsible. Individuals. Stop putting the onus on the majority and other things like video games. It's down to the individual to make these choices. It's down to the individual to go out there and premeditate what they're actually going to do. There isn't a video game in the world that tells you to go and do these sort of things. That is down to the individual. So stop playing the blame game. This is what upsets me about these journalists and why I chose to do this video. They seem to want to be PC. They seem to want to live in this fairy tale, this land, and make people believe that the world that we live in is so perfect. It really isn't. And we're lucky enough to have soldiers, Marines, and people like GCP and people like Iris who will go out there and risk their actual life for ours, so we can live in that fairy tale that you seem to live in. There are people that actually have to do what these soldiers are going to do in this new campaign, and I'm all for actually getting an insight as to what these soldiers have to go through. I have friends who have been soldiers, and it's very clear that some of them are very depressed when they come back. That some of them have had counselling when they've came back, because stuff happens out there that you can't anticipate as a human being. So to put it in a video game and show the reality of the world, because that's what it is, and that I can only commend that, and I am very interested in seeing stuff like that, because I don't live in a fairy tale land like this article suggests you do. When I worked at my station, Birmingham New Street, there was a test run where the police came in and done like I'm not going to say the T word. They acted as the op for, and basically a marauder came in a station, and it was activity to see how we would respond as staff in the situation to help people, innocent civilians, get out of the building. And it was terrifying. It was real disturbing. But it was reality, and we needed to be prepared for those sort of things, because that is the world that we live in today. So for me, interesting article. I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm linking it down in the description. It is a lengthy read. That's why I didn't choose to read the whole thing, guys, because this video would have been about 25 minutes long. But let me know after you've read the article down in the comment section your feelings and thoughts towards the article. Let me know also if you're happy that Call of Duty has chose to go back to those I know it's controversial to some people, but gone back to reality in essence, you know, ripped straight from the headlines is a quote that I used in my last video, and is also in Dean's article, because that's what Activision and Infinity Ward have said. That's what I want to play. I want to be immersed in something that really can happen. I'm sure there's a lot of us in reality that have acted out being a soldier in some portion of our life, in some aspect of our life. And there are some people who have actually been soldiers now. Again, I salute you guys, because I don't know if I've thought about it in the past being a soldier, but speaking to some of my friends and what they've actually seen, no disrespect when I say this, I'd actually rather be a soldier from the comfort of my living room or my bedroom on my console in that. And once again, a massive salute to anyone who has served for any of us. It's just a very interesting article, guys, and well worth a read, and that's why I've chose to do this video. Guys, there are many buttons you could hit, but a like and subscribe button, I hope they tickle your fancy, and as always, guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.